Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, in this episode I show you how to get some free, beautiful fun art from New York in the old days. Bonjour mesdames et messieurs, my name is Serge Ramelli, I am a French photographer living in the beautiful, the incroyable, the romantic, the extraordinaire city of Paris, France. And I have the privilege to make 2 tutorials per week. Click here if you want to subscribe to my newsletter, my daily newsletter, where you can get access to one of the biggest raw file library in the world for free, including free preset for Lightroom, free preset for Photoshop. All you have to do is sign here, enter your email address, you confirm your account, and then you can access the free lessons. And for each free lessons, mesdames et messieurs, for each free lessons, you can download the source files. Isn't that amazing? All right, I want to talk to you about something that just happened last week where the New York Library just released over 160,000 beautiful photos from New York. Some of them are amazing from 50, 80, 100 years ago. And I want to show you how we can do some like modern retouching with it so that you can just make huge, big fine art prints with it. And I'm going to give you the fine art retouch version for free so you can directly print them if you want to. But let me show you what I mean. All right, so as I told you in the intro, there is a very good news for photographers and for photo lovers all around the world is that the New York Public Library digital collection just released over 600,000 of free digitalized scan. Now, there's a lot of things in there, but some of it is really cool and the resolution is amazing because they use very professional scans. Let me show you a little example, but first, if you go to this website, digitalcollections.nypl.org, that's where to go. I will put it in the description of this video. What's amazing about it is when you hear it says Spotlight on the Public Domain. On January 6, 2016, the New York Public Library enhanced access to all public domain items in digital collection so that everyone has the freedom to enjoy and reuse these materials in almost limitless ways. Check this out. Click Learn More. And it basically says that, did you know that more than 180,000 of the items in our digital collections are in the public domain? That means everyone has the freedom to enjoy and reuse these materials in almost limitless ways. This is really cool. No permission required, no restrictions on use. And what's amazing is you don't even have to create an account. For example, on the public domain pick, which is on the homepage, one of my favorite collections is called Changing New York. A lot of photos, very old photos, and the resolution is amazing. For example, let me show you one that I really liked. Something like this, the Henry Street. So you click on a photo, and all you have to do is click on Original to download it, and you put it straight to your hard drive, and that's it. Now, I've already imported a few into Lightroom here. So, for example, let me show you this one first. Look at the resolution. This one is almost 9,000 pixels by 7,000. This is a huge resolution. You can do prints which are amazing. Let's say that you have a customer that has a nice restaurant or hotel. You could literally download, retouch these photos, which is what I'm going to show you now. They are already pretty much retouched. All the contrast is pretty well done, and but I want to retouch them in a more modern style. I think it's really cool to have a photo that was taken like in 1920 and retouch it with techniques that we use today with all the crazy dodge and burn and things like this. Some people will say, this is not okay, you should not do this, you should leave them as such. I'm saying let's try to be creative. I'm going to try to, not in this episode, but maybe in another episode, I'm going to try to make them into color, for example. Bring back the color, which is, you have to paint with color over it. There's a whole technique on that, and I'll do a separate episode. But for now, I'm going to do some basic retouching on a couple of photos, and then what I advise you, let's say you have a customer that has a restaurant or hotel, you can just, retouch them. You can make huge prints and, you could literally, redecorate a full hotel or a full restaurant or your own apartment with this amazing photos for the 1920s for free. You would only have to pay the cost of the printing. Anyways, so this one, I'm going to create a virtual copy first so that we can see the before and after. It's a JPEG. And I'm going to do some modern retouching, like my own sort of modern retouching. First, I'm going to crop it because I don't want to have this, frame that we have here. I don't want to have that. Okay. All right, and I'm going to desaturate the photo to take out the sepia, and I'm gonna redo the contrast myself. I'm going to apply my formula of bringing down the highlights, opening up the shadows 100%, and then doing my black value, holding the Alt key, bring down the black value until you crash the blacks, and bring the whites up. Okay, that might be a little bit too much, so I'm going to bring down the shadows and the highlights. It doesn't always work, but it does a pretty good job. Okay, I think the overall photo is much too bright, so I'm gonna make it darker a little bit, and I want to make the Brooklyn Bridge. I want to make the Brooklyn Bridge much more into a haze. So I'm gonna take a brush, and I'm gonna go into haze, into dehaze, and let's do some dehazing. Maybe not too much. Make sure that your flow and density, whenever you use the brush, it's good to have the flow and density around 70%. You see here, flow and density, that's the power of your brush. Make sure it's not too much. And so everything is at 0 except dehaze. Okay, and dehaze, when you put it minus, it brings back haze. I like the idea of having this a little bit dehaze, maybe with adding a bit of exposure and a bit more dehaze, so that, you know, we have a contrast between very strong foreground buildings and this. Okay, another thing that I'd like to do, because I like to do that a lot, is to add some post-crop vignetting, some serious post-crop vignetting, maybe not that much, but a little bit. Now on this one it doesn't work. The reason it doesn't work is because I'm just making, yeah, maybe a little bit, but I think what would be more interesting would be to make this part a little bit darker. So I'm going to take a gradient, and I'm going to make this part a little bit darker. I'm just trying to close the photo. What I mean by close the photo is that I want the viewer eyes to be into the Brooklyn Bridge at the bottom. And so by making maybe a few gradients around the photo, I'm forcing the eyes of the viewer to go there. Okay? So that's me bringing the viewer there. Now the next thing that I want to do is add some drama to make sure that all the lights are not so even. So for this I take the radial tool and I'm going to put it on exposure. I'm going to make one big radial tool. I'm going to click invert mask because I want all these things to only influence inside the circle, and I'm just going to add some exposure and some clarity on this one. Okay? And now it's like I have a lamp torch and I'm looking through the photo. And all I'm trying to do is I'm going to duplicate it. I took one and I duplicate it. I'm going to light up this man, for example. Right click, duplicate it. And I'm going to maybe light up this building, duplicate it, and light up this building. And it's pretty subtle. I'll show you the difference before and after. It's pretty subtle. Don't do it too much, but it just is going to make somehow the photo a bit more interesting, and people won't be able to tell why it's more interesting. They just will think, oh, it's kind of cool. Okay, so let's see, maybe I can duplicate this a little bit more and put it on some of the people here. I'm not sure that move is good, but let's check it out. Yeah, it's not bad. Before, after, so we have a little bit of there. It's a bit distracting, but it's part of the charm of this photo. And this photo you can print in like, I don't know, like 10 feet, 20 feet. It's so much resolution. You could make an entire wall with this photo. That one just photo. So that's the original photo, which is nice. I mean, but you know, I think it's kind of cool to make it, you know, you could even go crazy and add some clouds and things like this. On this photo, I don't think it works, but you know, trying to do like a modern thing. And I'm so amazed by the resolution. Look at this, 8,439 pixel by 6,479. That's more than my Sony A7R. It's more than a 50 million resolution photo. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, next one. This one is, I love that photo. This is really amazing photo. I just want to do a few things. So I'm going to create a virtual copy also of it. And then I'm going to crop it. Now this one, I don't like the frame, so I'm going to crop it here. I'm going to crop it there. I'm going to crop it maybe here. I don't like this little building here. And I'm going to crop it maybe just there. I don't like that this car is here. That bothers me, but it's kind of cool. Just wish the car was in full. All right, and then let's do just the blacks, holding the Alt key, and the whites. Not too much. Okay, bring down the highlights. That could be cool. Open up the shadows. I did a bit reverse, but you know, I think it's kind of cool. Add some contrast now. That changes already a lot the photo. Like, look at the look. It just makes it a lot more modern. You could even add some clarity if you wanted to make it more modern. Yeah, why not? Let's add a bit of clarity on this one. Now, the sky needs a lot of work. So either you leave the sky like this or you fully clean it up. And I'm going to show you, you know, because it's got lots of dust and things like this. So I'm going to show you a way to clean that up. Like here, there is a big smear of light leaks. There's a lot of things wrong with the sky here. So we're going to clean it up, and maybe we can crop it just a little bit more. A little tiny more. Yeah. Well, actually, you know what? No, I'd rather clean it up in Photoshop than having to crop it so that I hate to cut the antenna. You see that antenna there? I think we can just clean it up with a stamp tool. Okay. And so same thing. This one I'm going to make a bit darker. Yeah. I want to make it a bit darker, and I'm going to do my technique of the radial filter. Same radial filter here. Make sure you invert the mask, feather it. I'm going to boost the exposure and the clarity, and I just want to make some subtle lights coming into New York. You know, what it does, it just makes more interesting light. If you do it too much, like if somebody walks through your photo and says, oh, you added some lights here and there, then you know you've gone too far. You have gone too far. But okay, another way to do this is which is pretty cool, is to make something like this, make it turn, and just light up here, this whole part here, just to make it more interesting. Yeah, just like this, something like this. Let me show you before the circle and after. I think it's kind of cool. Maybe a bit too much, but you know, I want it to be very visible. Okay, I think I'm gonna make a couple more. I just want one more here. And you know, if you're not crazy like me and you want to go more subtle, you can. You have the right to go more subtle. All you have to do is you take one of this graded filter here, and you just make the exposure lower. Like if you think this one's too much, you click on it and you make the exposure lower. This one is too much, you click and you make the exposure lower. But it just makes a more interesting photo. Oh, okay, one thing I forgot to do, because I see here, you see there is a little bit of green here, and that is color aberration, so I'm just going to bring the saturation down. Voila. I think I'm going to make the blacks even darker. Yeah, I can go further on the blacks. And that's going to make a nice photo. Now let's clean it up. And I'm actually going to give you for free, because you can download all the before photo, I'm going to give this photo retouch for free, so you can directly send it to a printer. And I'm going to recommend you 2 printers at the end that I use, one in the USA, one in Europe. Okay, right click, edit in Adobe Photoshop CC 2015, edit. Now this one is a much lower resolution, but still a big print. It's 2059 by 188, but you can still make a big poster with that. It's not as big as the other one. Oh, I got a big brush. I'm going to make it smaller. Okay. So now I want to clean up this and this. So I'm going to take my background and I'm going to duplicate it. Okay, and then I'm going to use a stamp tool to clean up a little bit here. So I'm going to zoom in. Okay, I'm going to take the stamp tool, which is here, clone stamp tool. I'm going to make it smaller, make the opacity 100%, and I'm just going to make it even smaller. And I'm just going to click here, and I'm just going to go like this. You can even hold on the shift key and go the whole way like this, just to clean it up. This is kind of not nice, so I'm going to take some of that clouds here. Now when you do that, it's going to create some weird things sometimes, so you just clean up things which looks too obvious. You can just click on this, you know. And the good thing about when you do cloning here with the, you know, with clouds, it's so random that nobody noticed. Now this is something, I don't think that's a cloud. So to clean that up, what you can do is you can go here and take the patch tool, you select the weird light leaks and you drag and drop it on something clean. Boom. And then you take the stem tool again, ask the stem tool, and clean up any smear that might have happened on that. Usually that gonna give you a pretty good result. Let's see, before, after, before, after. Okay, yeah, that kind of looks weird. So take a big stem tool and just, when it's like this, just click whenever it looks weird. Like I'm taking this cloud and putting here. Yeah, sometimes it does kind of look weird, so you have to make sure it does not. Okay, that's pretty decent. Before and after, I think we get a better sky. Now that sky has a lot of dust and things, which you could live, but let's say you really want to make this look very modern. So I'm going to duplicate again the background. And then I'm going to use the quick selection tool, and I want to make a quick selection of the sky here. Okay, pretty straightforward. That's pretty good. All right. And now it's just a very rough selection. Then I'm going to go to Filter, Noise, Dust and Scratches. And then look at this. Makes it, that's way too much. So I'm going to use a much smaller value. Let's see, radius 1. Let's see what radius 2 with threshold 1. Threshold 1 and radius 2. Let's see before and after. Okay, let's zoom in. Let's see at 100%. I wish, you know, Adobe would make these windows bigger. Let me zoom in for you on this window. Let's see, before, after. I cannot even tell the difference here. Let me put a radius of 3. Okay, not bad. 3 may be a bit too much. Command D. Let me zoom out. Okay, let's see here. It's actually not bad. It's actually not bad at all. I'm gonna go 100%. Let's see, before. Wow, look at this. After. It took all the little dust off. Then you can clean it up even further, you know, with this other tool which I really like, which is a spot hitting brush tool. Okay. All right, here you go. And just, you know, if there is like as a big spot, you can just take it out. And if you think, okay, here, for example, I did it on here, it makes something weird. So you can make a mask and you take a brush, black brush, 100%, and I'm going to mask out what I did here because I did some, it's just my selection was lousy here. Okay, and if you think it's too much, you want to bring back some of the dust, you can just lower the opacity, you know, put it at 70%. It's going to bring back some of the dust, but it's not as much, like 73%. Before, a lot of dust, you put down 100%, a lot of dust, after a lot less dust, less visible, you know. But voila, that's something that I kind of like. So I'm going to go File, Close, and Save. So this is the original photo. And this is where we are. Let me take this out with all the cleanup. Let me show you again the original photo. And this is where we are with all the cleanup. It's a nice photo. I think it would make a nice poster in big. And voila. So once you've retouched this, because now you have very high resolution files, here is 2 companies I work with. I don't get commissioned for doing this, but I'm just really happy with the result. And they are, so for the US, I use bayphoto.com. I do mostly metal prints with them, but they do an amazing job. I don't get commissions to say this, but I really like them. And in France, I use mybellphoto.com. It's a very small company that is owned by a man called Jean-Baptiste Rousset. He's the one, it's the boss. He's directly dealing with the photographers. And I've done a lot of expo with him. He's amazing. And it's cheaper and better than other big traditional print shops that I've been to in France. So mybellphoto.com for France and Bayphoto for the US. Also, if you like this type of retouching, I advise you to purchase The Art of Black and White with Photoshop. You can get an additional 20% by using the code PLP234. The code is PLP234, and it's a course where I really show you how to create dramatic black and white. It's really all my techniques of black and white in Photoshop, and to create, artistic photos, like, for example, like this one, where there's even like sky replacements, and just to make, that's the before photo and that's the final photo. So check it out. Here's a little trailer that will give you more information. Thank you so much.
Bonjour, mesdames et messieurs. I am very happy to announce that I have a new course coming out called The Heart of Black and White with Photoshop. I've been doing black and white for years and actually came up with 2 books, one on Paris and one on New York, in black and white. And I've used MacFun Tonality Pro, but I've also used Photoshop to sometimes, get special effects on black and white and make really cool black and white photos. This is a very special tutorial because you will have a lot of projects. Some of the projects are going to be the following. I'm going to show you how to make dramatic black and white, how to make HDR black and white, how to use A's, with little drops here and there to make a special ambiance to your photo, how to use digital blending with different layers to very well prepare your files for great black and white, how to do like retouching with snowy photo with black and white, lone exposure in black and white, sunrise, or how to add some sky and then make it a cool black and white. And many, many, many surprises. It's my most complete black and white course that I ever did. There's only one course you should check out, is this one. I hope you're gonna enjoy it. My Art of Black and White with Photoshop. Do you wanna get hundreds of raw files from all over the place where you can play around with? Do you wanna get amazing free Lightroom presets, free brushes, free Photoshop actions? All you have to do is enter your email address. You will receive an email. You can then create an account, and then you can access this free lesson tab. You can choose from over 200 free lessons. Every free lesson is going to have source files for you to download and play around with. It's a great way to learn photography, learn post-processing for nothing. No money, it's all free. It's a gift to you as a member of photoserge.com. So thank you and welcome, and let's do some photos together.